Hello everyone, and welcome back to Three Stitches Blog. My name's Lindsay, and I always forget to tell you this, so I need to remember this, but I'm knitting Doink on Ravelry. I never seem to mention that, which is weird, which is really weird, but while I'm on my alternate personalities on the web, recently, well, yesterday, I joined Plurk. So you can find me there. My profile is on the blog, so you can get me there. Also, the link is on my Ravelry page. Well, my Ravelry page, not our Ravelry page. So you can find me there too. But yes, so this is episode 8. Better grab my sheet before I totally get off topic. This is episode 8 of Three Stitches podcast. So let's get started then. Another nice, dull week, which is good, which is really good. Got a lot of my projects, a lot of stuff done, which I'll get to in a bit. What else? Oh, I guess this is kind of like a nice segue into my stuff. So, I finished one project, so I guess I can't say that. But this is all like happening in my head. Yeah, I've got like a stream of conscious stuff going on, except it's not coming out, so it just kind of seems like I'm like half finishing sentences and answering sentences which I didn't start. And so, okay, on Saturday I had to go to Kroger's because I just needed some random stuff. So I take the bus, and so which means I needed a project. And I realized on that fateful day that even though the bus routes are set in like a specific like route, so you can't like stray off and have someone go, hey, can you drop me off over here, which is not a route, I still couldn't be a bus driver. Partially because I don't have a driver's license, but secondly, because I'm an early person. I like being early. Being on time feels weird, so I am early. But I realized I can't be a bus driver because my bus driver, she pulled over to a bus stop with nobody there. So, I didn't say anything because, I'm knitting away. I'm fine with it. And so she yells back because I'm the only one on the bus. And she's like, I'll be going in a little bit. I'm going to pick up my knitting, so I'm just kind of like stop flailing if I do that. She said, I'll go in about 2-3 minutes, but we're running a little ahead of schedule. And I'm like, in my head, mind you, I'm just like, well, ahead of schedule's fine. It means I'll have a few extra minutes to shop at Kroger's and a few extra minutes that maybe I'll catch a bus while sitting there for about 10 minutes at the stop, which I don't mind. But it's on a Saturday, so it'd be like half an hour. I really don't mind. Again, a few more rows on my sock. But she's like, well, we're just running a little early. And apparently, a few days before, she was running a little early again, and she was running 2 minutes early, and she got reprimanded for 2 minutes being 2 minutes early. So first of all, I thought that was rather odd, but her boss seems like he's a bit anal, or she, I don't know. I don't know who runs the metro system in Houston, but boss seems a bit anal, but that's just me. But it turns out, if you're a bus driver, it's better to be late than early, which makes absolutely no sense. But maybe that's just me. But on that subject, so I had to cast on a sock because I am not bringing this with me in my purse. Because the only really purse I have that's big enough to hold my stuff is attached with Velcro. And so the last thing I want is the Velcro fuzzies from a project getting caught in the Velcro. So, so I cast it on for another pair of socks. Now this is just another pair of like plain toe-up socks. Nothing fancy, no bells and whistles. I thought with this kind of yarn, it needs to be nice and plain with no bells and whistles. Although having bells on my sock would be kind of cool. It would be difficult to sleep in, but it'd be really kind of cool. Everyone would be able to hear me where I go. But yeah, so here's the start of my sock. I didn't touch it after I cast it on because I did all that on a bus. Well, on 2 buses actually, because I went there and came back. I didn't walk all the way back. That would be rather hard. But yes, here is the beginnings of my sock. For those of you with rather good memories, I actually did another pair of socks in the same yarn, just because for Christmas I got 2 skeins. But I only used 1 for a pair of socks, so that means I get 4 socks. Or 2 pairs. If you're good at math. So yeah, that's my pair of socks. Which brings me to a rather philosophical question that maybe somebody can answer for me. I was doing something which gave me a lot of time to think and ruminate about weird stuff, and I've been finding a lot of pennies lately. And so, you know, it's like been like ingrained in us when we were kids, that like that little nursery rhyme that, you know, find a penny and pick it up and all day you'll have good luck. Well, that happened to me. You know, every time I see a penny, it's like my Pavlovian response, like, oh, I'll have good luck if I pick this up. But nowadays, with very little pennies on the ground, you just rarely see people picking up loose change. So it always looks weird for me. I always feel weird, like, penny, I've got a cent. You know, get 100 more of these and I would maybe am lucky to buy a soda, you know. Vending machines have gotten expensive. But, which is really weird, I find. But, yeah. So I was wondering, if you find a penny and you pick it up, it's good luck. But what happens if you don't pick it up? Because I always assumed that it would be bad luck. But is it just like nothing? You just like walk by and it's like, oh, I don't get good luck. Or it's like, oh, I'm getting bad luck for the day. I don't know. But, yeah, so think over that. Inspire some thought maybe. Or if you have the answer to me, if you wrote the nursery rhyme, you're to blame for all this rumination, so it's your fault. But, comment if you'd like. Again, on that note, just like to send a shout out to Miss PalettePC, PalettePC @gmail. She is now following our blog. Not any new Ravelers to our group, which is alright. You can stay anonymous if you're there at all. You might be like my imaginary friend. But, yes, so welcome. I don't know your name, so I apologize about that. So Miss Gmail, it is nice to have you along for the ride, and if we don't scare you off, welcome. Although if you're following, and I guess we haven't scared you off, so you must have a strong constitution, and I applaud you for that. But yes, I had the weirdest thing happen to me this week. And it's happened before, but I thought it was just a coincidence or from age. But apparently not. Fall semester last year, so around fall of 2010, I was walking around campus and I had a pair of earrings in. And they were like the studs with like the plastic, like the little crystal in them. Cheap as chips. I mean, you know, stuff that I just wore when I didn't want to wear anything pretty, and had them for just about ever. And I looked in the mirror, which is a rare occasion. I mean, look at this. But looked in the mirror and realized that one of my earrings had turned like this, like bluish green color. It had like turned colors. And my ears, as you can see, you know, nothing going on weird with them. Well, weirder than normal. And so it wasn't like something was like seeping or weeping or, yeah. And it wasn't like I had one ear in the sun and one not. And so only one of them turned. And it wasn't like it was something on the outside of it, because I checked, I tried to like scratch it off, but it wasn't happening. And it wasn't the middle. So I just chalked it up to being old, because I had them in my jewelry box for a while. And chucked them out, bought a new pair over the Christmas break, and started wearing them again, and they turned into my old standards. Like I can sleep in them, I could shower in them, I just couldn't forget about them. And I realized, like 2 nights ago, I was brushing my teeth, and I was looking in the mirror, and I realized it had happened again. The other one earring had turned green. It was the oddest thing. So, yeah. So, never take your cheapo earrings for granted, because one might turn. Either that, Or it's like in those cartoons with like the devil on one side, the angel on the other. The angel had like the earring with like the really pretty one, just like, oh, I'm all good. And the devil's like, ha 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 ha, you'll get rid of me. Ha ha ha. Yeah, exactly like that. So, yes, so keep an eye on your earrings. And before I get into my knitting, well, I'll get into my knitting again. I am already, I'm starting. So you'll understand in a sec. But I realized that living in Houston and having wool don't go hand in hand. My closet has started to have a slight tint of wet sheet, just because it's been so humid in my dorm, just because of all the people taking showers, and because of, like, there's been like 90% humidity for the past few weeks. And so I walked into my closet and I pulled something out. I had pulled out one of my shawls and I went, this feels kind of damp, it's kind of cool. And so I went, oh, that's not good. It smells like wet sheep. So the only time it smells like wet sheep is when, well, it's wet. So I was like, okay, I pulled out all my shawls, which there's like 3 or 4 of them in natural fibers, and then I had my wool sweater. So, you know, I hung them up so that they wouldn't get all funky, all funkier. And so they're sitting in my closet, and now I had to open up the cone freshener just so that I didn't offend my roommate too much. And, oh man, I mean, they smell like wet sheep, and it's quite annoying actually. But, yes, so if you live in a high humidity area, you know what I should do? I should probably open up a box of baking soda, because that would work as a bugger. I can tell I didn't do well in chemistry. It would work well as a moisture sucking agent. Yes, like silica gel. I don't know. I don't remember the name of what the term is called, but the water sucking chemicals or devices. One of those. Either that or I need to get a dehumidifier. But there's no electrical outlets in my closet, so that wouldn't work well. But, yes. And it's to show you how humid it's been in my dorm room. My roommate, Victoria, love her to death. She was taking a shower. And so she has a thing about like not getting dressed in the bathroom. She wants to go in her closet. And since we have a walk-in closet, I mean, it works really pretty well for it. And I mean, truth be told, getting dressed in the bathroom is not always good because there's water on the floor and it's not big enough. So, yeah. And so she closes the door and gets changed. And so I'm sitting out here. And so she's ready to leave, and she, you know, turns the door handle and pushes. It doesn't open. And pushes again. And turns out, after she closed the door, all the humidity had like made the wood expand just enough, so it got stuck. So she got locked in our closet. So after all of the, you know, getting coming out of the closet jokes we could make, there's only so many you can. She finally like kicks the door down and stayed on its hinges. Nothing wrong. We won't have to lose our deposit, our $300 deposit. But yeah, she got locked in our closet. Stupid wood expanding door. Or door. That came out weird, but I don't know how else I would phrase it. But yeah. And so, on to my knitting. I think that's everything I had to talk about. Yes. And so, I know Mom and Catherine haven't been doing a lot on their Pavonis, and we'd love to see your progress up on Ravelry. We now have a thread about what's on your needles, and we'd love to see, because that's how we get ideas for what we want to do, because sometimes the pictures of the patterns on Ravelry don't give the pattern justice, and also we love a pattern, and then we hear someone say how much they hated doing it, and so that saves us our pain and suffering. So, go ahead, post what you're doing, rant, rave, whatever. There's probably more to that I was going to say, but my brain just went. But, we'll be shoulder to cry on, cheerleading squad if you need it. Just post. So, yes, this week. I cast it on for the sock like I showed you, which that one might take a while because it's like sitting on my desk for the times when I don't want to work on something, but I just want something, you know, that made no sense. But yes, and so my Pavonis. My Pavonis was a very good shelf this week. It got 2 repeats done, which is a bit of a record for me. Well, I don't know if it is. I never really counted the rows that I've done, but this week's progress, it has been rather big. My cake is slowly shrinking. Slowly shrinking. So soft. And it kind of smells like wet sheep. Although I don't know why I'm sniffing yarn. I don't know. It's a Thursday. I don't have class till Saturday, so I'm gone. I am gone. So, as I'm untangling my bag there, here is my shawl. This is, I'm just going to show you the 1/2 because it's rather large, but whew, there it is. I don't know how many repeats I've done, but I've done a good many. Less than 10, more than 5. Let's see, there's 3, 6, 7, 8. I'm working on the 9th one. So there's my Pavonis, Wintergreen Wonderful, as I call him. It looks like a him. It doesn't look like a her. I don't know why I'm assigning genders to my projects. It's like when you call like a boat a she, or a car a she. I don't know what you'd call a he. I don't know if you do call something he. But, nevertheless, that was Pavonis. This is, oh bugger, I'm in the middle of a row. So, while I finish this row real quick, I did get something done this week, although I can't show you, but the person that I'm giving it to already knows about it, but she hasn't seen it, so when she gets it, then I will put a picture up on my Ravelry page, and yeah, so some way, somehow you'll see it, I promise, but it's sitting in my drawer here, which you didn't see. It looks like I'm just like padding somewhere under the camera. But yes, but since I finished that cross stitch, I was able to start another one, which turned out to be an ordeal in itself, since I didn't realize how big this project was going to be. I mean, I pulled it out, and the first sign, let me pull it out of my drawer here, my drawer of goodness, was, here's the chart, and I pull it out, and I'm like, okay, this looks alright. And so I pull this out, and it's like that big. And I'm like, I can do that. That doesn't look too bad. But then I remember the picture, it was square, and that's rectangular, so I flip it over. And so, yeah, it's a rather big chart. And although it's a bigger font, or a bigger, the chart is, the graph is bigger than ones I've worked with before, it is offset by how small the Aida cloth is. I mean, that's 1/2 of a butterfly wing. It's probably going to get out to be about like that big. Yeah. Really, really small. So needless to say, I don't do this late at night. Otherwise, I would have no vision left. And this needle is rather precarious. It's going to like fall out, and I'm going to stab my own foot. Which would probably be funny to onlookers, but not to me. And then I had to, they gave me the nice floss sorters, but they didn't put the floss on the sorters. So I had to look at all these under a nice light and pick out all of the different colors and figure out which colors they were. And right now you look at it and you think, oh, that's really pretty easy. They look pretty different. But some of the colors are like one shade lighter. So I'm sitting there like under a lamp trying to figure out if they're the same color or not. And then it didn't help that the instructions, they listed how many yards of floss per color, but they didn't say that each piece of floss is, wait, let me explain this better. Like, if they say there's 2 yards of one color, one piece of floss is 2 yards, which you would assume would be 1 yard. You would assume. But that was me assuming. And these things are like mammoth long. I mean, that's like half of one strand. So I mean, it's like cross-stitching with 2 yards of floss is almost impossible. I am half tempted to like slice them all in half, so it's much more manageable. I mean, you can tell how long these strands are when you're cross-stitching and it gets wrapped around your wrist. I was about to say my ankle. Yeah, around my ankle here. But yeah. So that turned into a bit of a project. And I still haven't finished this row. So I shall just hold it up and show it to you. And I had a floor meeting last night. And first of all, it was freezing down there. But nevertheless, grabbed my project and went. And the only redeeming factor about that meeting was that I got about 2 or 3 rows done on Plucky here. This is the very Plucky cardigan, and when I put these back on my needle, you'll see it. It's gotten some progress. That's slow but sure. I am about a ½ inch away from starting the few decreases and then the few increases. Yeah, got like a Pac-Man thing going on there. Pac-Man in reverse. But, yes, so there's the side of it. It's slowly, steadily growing. Not as fast as I'd want it to, but we all can't be marathon runners, can we? Yep, so that's the Plucky cardigan. I talked about the bonus and my sock, and I think that'd be it. So, I shall sign off. Hope I didn't bore you to death, or scare you off. Mom will be podcasting on Monday, so stay... I should sign off because I can't speak anymore. But, that's it from me. So, have a great week. Mom will see you on Monday. But until then, have a nice weekend.